Hey friends, I wanted to just share something with you guys that's been on my heart for the last week. I was talking to a mentor of mine and she said some stuff that rocked my world. And I thought I would share it with you because I thought maybe it would help somebody else out there too. But basically, so if you guys don't know us, you might not know us. Warren and I've lived in San Diego for a long time, what I feel like is a long time. Warren was there for about 17, 18 years, and I was there for about 15. And it was a long ways away from our family, because they're in Mississippi and Texas, and but we adjusted and we loved California, and we had lots of friends and a wonderful church and all that kind of stuff. And then we really wanted to live closer to our family, and so Warren took a transfer with the military here in Tennessee. And it's been awesome to be closer to family and awesome to have space in a yard and a big house and kids play in the mud and all the kinds of things that we haven't gotten to do. But we still left everything that we knew as adults, and we left our friends and we left our church. And so we've been here for about a year, and I've struggled. And when we were first here, I really struggled, and just honestly there would be days that were just really dark and felt just like, oh my gosh, when am I gonna, make friends and adjust and whatever. And a lot of that has kind of gone away. A lot of that's just been traveling and being somewhere else and just experiencing fun things. But also, so we traveled all around for about 10 different states for about 3 weeks not long ago, looking to see where we might want to retire in a year or two. And we just thought God was going to tell us, this is where you're supposed to be, and it didn't happen. But the last day of the trip, of the 3-week trip, we were at a church at Antioch in Austin, Texas. And the sermon was on contentment. And we both walked away just like, God is telling us to just be content. We often think about, what's God going to do in my life? How is he going to use me someday? But we forget that right now, right here, God's using us. And right now is where God has called us to be. And so we just realized God's calling us to be content and to think about now and not like next year or, whatever it is that we think God's going to do. And so anyways, we just walked away from that trip going, okay, let's just be content. We live in Tennessee. We're going to be content. We're, whatever. But every Sunday, and since I've moved here, and we haven't really found a home church, we just kind of go wherever. We mostly go to a church called High Point in East Memphis, and sometimes we go to a church called The House, which is awesome, in Raleigh. And we go to different places, and they're all great, but nothing is home. And we're like, God, why can't we have a home? So anyways, on Sundays, it gets depressing, and I get to where I don't really want to meet people, and I'm embarrassed because I don't really know people, but I've met them, and so I feel like I should know them. And anyway, so I get to where I'm like, I don't want to meet anybody, I don't want to talk to anybody, and I just am like, let's just go. I just don't want to be here. I don't know if anybody else can relate on Sundays how awkward that is at church. Anyway, so I was talking to my mentor, and I was just like, what is my deal? And this is what I wanted to share with you guys that I thought might help you. And she told me contentment. And I'm like, I know contentment. Yeah, God's working on me, but I can't be content on Sundays. What's my deal? I'm just like, I miss my old church. I miss my old friends. I miss whatever. Like, I just can't figure out how to be content. And she was just like, gratitude. And for whatever reason, it dawned on me I can be grateful. I can do that. There's always something that I can be grateful for. And I'm grateful that we really do have a lot of good churches here. We have really good people here. We have great pastors and, whatever. It may not be whatever it is that I think I'm supposed to have. It may not be my old church or, whatever. All those comparison things have got to stop. It may not be whatever, and the same thing in your life. Maybe it's hard to be content or grateful for something, but it's like take all the other stuff out. Like you wish you wish your life was a certain way. You wish your situation was a certain thing, whatever. Like stop. Just be grateful, Be grateful that it's warm. Be grateful that, you have clothes. Be grateful, whatever, start wherever basic, whatever, that you can be. And so Dara, the woman who's mentoring me, said to me, she gave me examples of like your kids when they're complaining at you. You know, when your kids, let's say you give your kid a sucker and they're like, I don't want purple, I want the blue sucker. Why can't I have the blue sucker? You know, And when your kids do that, don't you just lose your mind and think, okay, fine, you can't have any suckers. I'm just going to take all your suckers away and then see if you can be grateful for the wrong color, you know? And she kind of talked about like God feels like we do when it's like, we're complaining at him like, why did you put me here? Why am I at this church? Why am I in whatever situation in your life, you know? And think about when your kids bless you and they say, Mom, thank you so much for this sucker, or, you know, whatever it is. Thank you so much for dinner tonight, where, you know, you're used to them complaining about what you cooked, but they're like, thank you for cooking for us. And you're just like, oh my gosh, you're so welcome. Like, I would give you the world right now. Because you just bless my heart so much, your gratitude and your thankfulness. And she was saying God is, you know, similar. Like we can bless him and think about how he feels towards us when we choose gratitude, even if it's not exactly what maybe we would want it to be. And she gave the example of like Corrie ten Boom and her sister when they were in the concentration camps. And they got lice, and, you know, the one sister was like, are you serious right now? Like, I can't possibly be grateful right now. And then there's a verse that I wrote down. I thought I wrote it down, but it's, be thankful in all times, for this is the will of God. It's like, but how can I be grateful for lice, you know, in this moment? And that was exactly, the lice ended up being a wonderful thing, because that's how they were able to sneak their Bible in and read their Bible to the women and be encouraged and stuff like that. And so it's like, be thankful in all things. Anyway, so that just changed my heart on Sunday, where it was just, I feel like I've been on cloud 9 ever since I'm learning like contentment. Like, God, this is where you have me. I'm thankful for that. Gratitude for what I do have. And I think I'm a generally grateful person, but like really being intentional. And Dara said to me too, she reminded me in when the Israelites left Egypt, and they kept looking back and they kept saying, but we want to go back, we want to go back. And God's like, I pulled you out of that. You know, so I don't know if anybody else is doing that like I was, where it's like, I'm looking back on my life and I want that thing. And God's like, we're done with that thing, you know? And then also when the Israelites were complaining, and God was so sick of their complaining, you know how you feel about your kids complaining and you're just like, stop already. And God was so over it that he opened the earth and swallowed them up. Like, he was done with them, with their complaining. And it's just like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to cause God to be upset with me. I want to bless his heart. And also, you know, the Israelites took 40 years for them to get to the promised land, because they were so ungrateful and they were so angry, and we want what we had before, and, you know, God's not, what you gave us isn't good enough and stuff. It was a 40-day journey, but because of their hearts, their attitudes, it took them 40 years to get the promises that God gave them. And God's given us all promises. You know, he has promises to flourish us, and he has good things for us. And so how long do we want it to take to get those things? That's what she said to me. She was like, Jamie, let your journey be a year journey, you know, or a 2-year journey, or whatever, and, you know, till God brings you these promises or whatever. She's like, don't make it a 40-year journey by having a bad attitude and being ungrateful. So anyways, I just want to encourage you guys with that. If anybody else is going through anything that's just tough or hard, or marriage, kids, whatever, you know, for us as we move, but just gratitude seems, it's so basic, but there's something to be thankful for. And I'm thankful for all of you. I'm thankful for the encouragement that I get from Facebook, and thankful for the relationships that I'm cultivating, especially with health coaching and getting to spend so much time with people, like really deep conversations. That's just blessed me beyond. I don't know what I would do without those sweet, sweet friendships, and getting to walk beside so many of you guys. And anyway, all right, thanks, guys.